The Imperial selection chamber fell silent as the final cub made their choice. Administrator Thexal stared at the holographic display in disbelief, all four of his eyes widening in synchronized horror. 500 names. 500 of the most dangerous juvenile predators in the known galaxy. And every single one had selected the same guardian, a human. This is impossible, Thexal whispered, his translator struggling with his shock. The statistical probability of unanimous selection is less than 0.0003%. His assistant finished, equally stunned. Sir, what do we do? Kalen stood in the observation room, completely unaware of the chaos he had just caused. He was a simple agricultural specialist from Earth, invited to the Imperial Station as part of a cultural exchange program. He had spent exactly 47 minutes in the Cubs' common area during a routine tour. 47 minutes that had apparently changed 500 lives. The Cubs in question were not ordinary children. They were the offspring of the galaxy's apex predators, species so dangerous that their adults required military-grade containment protocols. Vaxorian shadow stalkers whose venom could liquefy titanium. Kreth fire-breathers who reached maturity with plasma temperatures exceeding small stars. Corrin phase shifters who could move through solid matter. Each cub represented a future threat level classified as catastrophic by Imperial security standards, and they had all chosen Kalen. Send him in, Thexal ordered, his voice heavy with resignation. The selection accords are absolute. If the Cubs have chosen, we must honor it. Kalen entered the administrator's office with the easy smile of someone who had no idea he was about to become the most controversial guardian in galactic history. You wanted to see me? I hope I didn't break any protocols during the tour. Mr. Kalen, Thexal began, trying to find words that wouldn't cause an interstellar incident. Are you aware of the Imperial Orphan Selection Program? Not really, Kalen admitted. I thought today was just a cultural visit. The Cubs you encountered are special cases. Extremely dangerous species whose parents perished in the frontier wars. Imperial law grants them the right to select their own guardians from approved candidates. It's a sacred tradition, designed to honor their predatory instincts in choosing pack leaders. Kalen nodded slowly. That sounds reasonable. But what does it have to do with me? Thexal activated the holographic display. 500 profiles materialized in the air, each one showing a different cub's face, scales, fur, crystalline features, and forms that defied easy description. Every single profile had the same status marker glowing in bright amber. Guardian selected. Kalen, human. They all chose you, Thexal said quietly. Every single one. The color drained from Kalen's face. That has to be a mistake. I'm not a soldier or a xenobiologist. I grow vegetables for a living. Nevertheless, the choice is made. By Imperial law, you have the right to refuse, but Thexal hesitated. In our entire history, no cub has ever been rejected after making their selection. The psychological damage would be catastrophic. And with 500 cubs, all from warrior species, you're saying if I refuse, it could start a war, Kalen finished. Multiple wars, Thexal corrected. The cubs' bloodlines include 17 different species councils. If their offspring are dishonored, the political fallout would be severe. Kalen sat down heavily. Can I at least meet them? All of them. An hour later, Kalen stood in the massive common area as 500 pairs of eyes and various other sensory organs fixed on him. The cubs ranged in size from small enough to fit in his palm to nearly as tall as his chest. Despite their differences, they all watched him with the same intense focus point. One cub stepped forward. He was a Vaxorian, about the size of a large dog, with midnight black scales and eyes that glowed with bioluminescent patterns. The same cub Kalen had spent most of his tour time with. Vash, Kalen said softly, recognizing him. The young Vaxorian's scales rippled with color, a sign of emotion Kalen had learned. You came back. I'm told you all chose me, Kalen said, addressing the entire group. But I don't understand why. I'm not strong like your parents were. I don't have claws or venom or any special abilities. Vash's scales shifted to a warm amber. The other candidates were warriors. They looked at us and saw weapons to train, threats to contain, future soldiers to command. A small Kreth cub, barely larger than Kalen's hand, floated forward on thermal currents. You looked at us and saw children. When I fell during the tour, Vash continued. You didn't check if I was dangerous. You didn't call for handlers. You just helped me up. You asked if I was okay. A Koran cub phased partially into visibility. You sat with us. You listened to our stories about our parents. You didn't flinch when Kresh accidentally scorched the wall or when Tala phase shifted through your leg. You laughed. A small voice added from the back. Real laughing, not the nervous sounds the others made. Kalen felt something shift in his chest. He looked at the 500 faces, scales, fur, chitin, energy forms, and saw past the threat assessments and danger classifications. He saw children who had lost their parents. Children who had been treated as problems to solve rather than people to care for. I grow vegetables, he said again, but this time with a different tone. On Earth, we have a saying. Gardening is the purest form of optimism. You plant seeds not knowing if they'll grow, but hoping they will. You give them water, sunlight, and patience. You protect them from harm while teaching them to be strong. Vash's scales brightened. We don't want a warrior. We want someone who knows how to help things grow. Kalen looked at Administrator Thexal, who had been watching from the observation deck. The official's expression was unreadable, but he gave a slow nod, a gesture that transcended species. I have conditions, Kalen called out. I'm not trained for this. I'll need help. Experts in each of your species needs. Medical staff, educators, cultural advisors. And you all need to understand, I won't train you to be weapons. I'll help you become whatever you want to be. We accept. 500 voices responded in unison, the translator struggling to render so many species affirmations simultaneously. Vash approached Kalen and pressed his scaled head against the human's hand. The gesture was universal, a child seeking comfort from a parent. Within moments, Kalen was surrounded by cubs, each finding some way to make contact. Warm scales, soft fur, cool crystalline surfaces, and even the strange static sensation of a phase-shifted touch. Administrator Thexal's voice came through the intercom. The Imperial Residence Sector will be prepared for you. Food synthesizers for 500 species, medical facilities, educational resources, everything will be provided. Kalen looked down at Vash, whose bioluminescent patterns pulsed with something that looked remarkably like happiness. What have I gotten myself into? Something beautiful, Vash replied. Our parents were warriors. They taught us strength. But you'll teach us something they never could. What's that? How to be strong without being alone. As Kalen sat down, immediately surrounded by 500 of the galaxy's most dangerous children all vying for his attention, he realized that Earth's agricultural training had prepared him for this in unexpected ways. Growing things required patience, understanding, and the belief that with proper care, even the smallest seed could become something magnificent. He had 500 seeds now, and he was determined to help every single one of them grow.